Hello my kin, my name is Kin Ping, but you can call me Kin, and today I got something different for all of you. Damian Wayne and Carl Grimes are two of, if not the most badass kids in comic history. Even though the two worlds in which the characters live and fight are almost completely different, they still have aspects of one another in them, such as how they act, the people they surround themselves with, and some of their issues and or struggles. Damian, Batman's blood son and the current Robin, was first seen in 1987 in the comic Batman Son of the Demon by Mike W. Barr. This makes him around 35 years old, though he is actually only 14, making him the youngest of the two, even though he has been around much longer. Carl first appeared in issue 2 of The Walking Dead in 2003, which means he is only 17 years old. But with the last Walking Dead issue, he is seen to be around 30, proving all the old man Carl theorists right. Anyway, for this video, I'm going to go over their similarities and what makes them good characters. Of course, this will have spoilers for basically everything related to Damian Wayne and Carl Grimes. Anyway, I hope you enjoy. Now, the first thing that I think we should look at is their fathers, seeing as they have a huge impact on Damian and Carl's lives. These two are some of comics' most famous characters of all time. Batman has, by far, been around longer, but Rick Grimes' entrance into the comic book world was absolutely massive, especially once AMC started making the TV show. Both are main characters and have been through a lot of shit. They are both skilled in different and similar ways and have mastered the traits needed to survive in their separate worlds and then taught and shown their boys how to do it as well. Rick's relationship with Carl is the strongest relationship in the Walking Dead comic series and is a key part of the story. All of Rick's actions and everything he does is to protect his family, which eventually comes down to just him and Carl. Just how far Rick would go to protect Carl is shown in the infamous scene where Rick rips out a man's throat with his teeth before he can harm his son. Then there is Bruce, who didn't know Damian existed for the first 10 years of his life, but you can't really blame Bruce for that. Damian was pretty much raised as a weapon by his mother until she gave him to Bruce to try and disrupt his plans. Although their relationship didn't start out well, Damian and Bruce love each other and have at many times expressed it. These two are quite different, but both have had a huge impact on their son's life. While Talia did everything she did to Damian on purpose to sculpt him into a killing machine, Laurie did her best to give Carl as much of a normal life as he could have in a zombie apocalypse. Though they are not as popular as their husband and former lover, they are still both key characters and arguably have a bigger influence on their sons than the dads did. Laurie was no one's favourite character, but she was still a good character. She did a lot for Carl and tried her best to be the best mum she could be. Like everyone, she had problems, and her affair with Shane eventually made her and Rick's relationship slowly break down. Because of that tension between Rick and Shane, Carl ended up killing someone who he had believed to be an ally and not a threat at all. Her death also scarred Carl for life, but Laurie never meant for any of this to happen, and it's just a shame that her positive impacts on her son's life are clouded by the bad ones. Now, unlike Laurie, Talia al Ghul is, in my opinion, a very cool character, but that doesn't mean she is a great mum. Talia is arguably as bad of a mum as you could get. She trained Damian from birth to be a living weapon with no sympathy for him, turning him into a brutal killer with twisted morals at the age of 10. He killed more people in his first 10 years than Carl has killed in his whole life. Taking a look at how he was raised by Talia explains Damian's attitude, because he didn't have anyone that really cared about him until he met Alfred and Bruce, and he was hesitant to believe that even they loved him, having gone without love for his whole life. I think it is fair to say that I am a fan of both these guys, and that's mainly because of how unique they are compared to the other characters they fight alongside or against. Negan is, of course, a newer character than Slade, but it doesn't seem to matter as both have a very interesting history and personal story. Since Deathstroke has been around longer, we have had more time to get to know him fully, but thanks to the comic Here's Negan and the later Walking Dead comics, we've gotten to know Negan just as well. Both of them are big players in Carl and Damian's life, mainly because they are enemies, but also because of the unique bond they share. Negan's relationship with Carl is almost like what Carl's relationship with Shane was like. The two are, when put simply, enemies, but Negan considers them friends as well because he likes how badass Carl is. That is shown throughout the series when both have had the chance to kill one another, but don't. And also when Carl continues to visit Negan when he is in jail. Though Carl said he still wanted to kill Negan, it became less and less likely that he would ever do it, and he didn't. If Maggie of all people couldn't kill Negan, then I don't think Carl would. Anyway, Damian's relationship with Slade is a bit more complicated. It's something I've tried to get my head around for a while, and I found Teen Titans The Terminus Agenda a great help. Damian wants to prove that he is better than everyone by defeating Deathstroke, which other Titan teams have never done for good. And he wants Slade to know as well, which gives Slade the opportunity to manipulate him. Though Damian is also eager for a parental figure, Slade takes advantages of this as well, thinking that Damian has daddy problems when he actually has mummy problems. Now, Carl has a main love interest, which he has been friends with since the beginning of the comics, but Damian hasn't really had a main partner. Some could argue that Raven is his love interest, and I wouldn't blame them. It is a nice pairing, but has only ever existed in the animated universe. So let's talk about Carl's love interest first, before getting into what's going on with Damian. Sophia is one of the only characters that is in every single Walking Dead volume, even though she has no real impact on the story. Carl is also one of them, and it made sense to have them together near the end of the series. The two of them have been through a lot together and always been there for each other, even when Carl was with Lydia. Lydia simply didn't have the history with Carl that Sophia did. Now we come to Damian. Damian is difficult when it comes to determining if he has had a proper significant other. He has had multiple romantic relationships in other universes, such as Cassie Sandsmark and Deceased, and the most well-known one, Raven, in the animated universe. But in the mainstream comics universe, he has been shown to feel things for others but never actually gotten together with someone. I personally think that Damian has 3 crushes / love interests. Firstly, he is shown to have a crush on Supergirl, and that was very cute with her, though I don't think that was anything more than a crush. And then there was Jin, who he was on the verge of having a relationship with in the latest Teen Titans comic series. The other one is Flatline, who seems to have a chance to start a relationship with him, but I don't know enough about her to actually say anything. I think that at this moment, Raven is considered to be Damian's best love interest. Damian and Carl share the same kind of personality. Damian, of course, being a lot more extreme. They are both headstrong and do what they want when they want, which makes them a bit of a difficult person to be around. But that doesn't matter, because both of them are characters that you can easily love and enjoy reading about. This, sadly, is pretty one-sided, considering that Damian was trained from birth. Carl is okay at hand-to-hand fighting, and good with a gun, but would stand no chance against Damian. Damian would win really easily. Anyway, that's it for this short video. I hope you guys enjoyed learning about Damian and Carl and the similarities between them. Just a short video, trying to test out my editing skills. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you next time. Goodbye, my kin.